labeling intervals and describing its quality. We're going to work with the G scale to start off with. Now, do you remember the pattern for a major scale? 2 whole steps. So G to A is a whole, A to B is a whole, then a half step, so B to C is a half. Then I need 3 whole steps, so C to D is a whole, D to E is a whole. Now how do I make a whole here? I have to go to F sharp, and then a half step to end to G. So there I have my G major scale. And to just make labeling simpler, my lowest tone for these intervals will be G. So I'm just going to keep G on the bottom so that we can think about G scale. I hope you're already deciding what the names of these are. Okay, so if you had this little worksheet and I said label the intervals and describe its quality, what would you do? So pause the button and talk about it. Let's see if you came up with this. I count lines, spaces, and lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this is some type of a fourth. If it is in my scale, G and C, are those in my scale? G and C. Yes, it's simply called perfect fourth. So I just use my P. All right, let's look at the next one. What interval is it? 1, 2. Or maybe you knew GA, 1, 2. It is a second. What is its quality? If it's in G scale, it is a major second, and it is. It's part of the scale. All right, let's look at the next one. What letter? Every good, that's a G. Boy does fine. That's higher than F, so this must be the other G. So G all the way to G. You might want to think of it that way. Ah, that's an octave. An eighth. Is this in the scale? Yes. Perfect. Perfect octave. All right, let's look at this one. What letter is this? G. And how do I find this space note? Use the word face. F, A, C, E. So this is a E flat, and this is a G. All right, here's G. Right here, I'll just put an X. Where's E flat? E. Uh-oh. There's not an E flat in this scale. How do I have to get there? By going to the left, that's one semitone or a half a step. That definition is then minor. And what's the interval? Line, space, line, space, line, space. Sixth. Or you could have looked down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then remember, if it's not in the scale, I have to decide what happened. And I went lower to the next key, which makes it a minor. Remember, only your seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths can become minor. You make those minor when you move lower half a step. Okay, let's look at the next one. I'm on G. What interval? Line, space, line, space, line. Did you hear fifth? If I'm on G, there's a D, but there's not a D sharp. How do I get to the D sharp? Another name for E flat is D sharp. That's enharmonic. I'm thinking D sharp. So what is this interval? It's not a perfect fifth because perfect, it would be D, but I see D sharp. Remember the name when I enlarge it a half a step? Augmented. So either a plus sign or AUG, augmented fifth. But when we look at intervals, they're not all going to have the same bottom note. The G, we made it easy. We kept it in G so we could think about G scale. So let's go to the next video to see what else we could do to describe our intervals if we have trouble keeping up with all those scales.